Okay, good morning,
Good morning.
Joyce. And we're going to have a conversation concerning your health and specifically some of your health challenges. But
Yeah.
why don't you just give me a little background,
Well,
how we know each other, and also uh, a little bit about maybe what you learned when you came to the ranch, on
yeah.
things like
Okay.
that. Yeah, and then you can go into where you're at today.
Okay. Well, I had like they diagnosed me with MS, and they wanted me to do.
I can't hear you, Joyce. You turned off your voice. You muted. You pushed a button or something.
Oh, it says
There
our.
you go. Now you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. And so I didn't want to do medication. A friend told me about you, so I called, and you had a retreat coming up. So I came down there. You
Well,
did my dry blood, and you said that you felt like it was in my bowels, and just do a cleanse. And I've done great with that. I've never done any medication. I've never had any more problems with it. But then over the years, I started kind of cheating a little bit, and then look, I got vitiligo.
so what was the cheating? When you say cheating, what does that mean?
Well, I started drinking like uh, chai drinks, from Starbucks, and
Hmm.
some chips. And I have never cheated on dairy or meat. Don't do those, but more sugar and things like that.
I see.
And so I've been getting a lot of, and so I enjoyed my time there. And then I ended up getting urinary tract infections a lot.
All right.
So, uh,
Is
so
that
this summer,
is that still a problem today or?
yes, I just got off. They made me take antibiotics because I didn't know what to do because I was in so much pain.
Hmm.
And so when I went, I was having pains on my side. So he thought I had kidney stones. So they did a scan, and that's when he said he found a lesion on my ovary.
I see. So was the scan just a physical identification or was it an ultrasound?
Well, I did scan, and then they did an ultrasound, and they couldn't get anything figured. So they want to do an MRI, but they want to do it with contrast. And I don't want to put that stuff in my body. On my seventh day of a juice cleanse. And so I was wondering if I could do it without all that.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have a definitive diagnosis.
No,
No, I mean, to not do a proper scan, ultrasound, and have some sort of diagnosis, not that you would necessarily do a biopsy. Uh, I mean, of course, that's your choice. That's the only way they can identify, a cancerous mass. If there's a lesion, lesions are generally associated to some sort of a mass. But it sounds like you need a proper ultrasound with Doppler to be able to identify what it is that you're dealing with. Or you can just go to the fact that if you know what it is, what are you going to be doing about it? Are you going to be doing surgery, or is surgery necessary? Or is that something that you put on the table, maybe, doing some other options prior to maybe the surgery? Um, you never take anything off the table, but there are some things you can do naturally
mm-hmm.
to try to help yourself. But have you thought about, doing an ultrasound? And the other thing is maybe a full body ultrasound, because if we're talking about just the ovary, it may be other places too. It could be thyroid.
That's what they said. Because they said it was near a lymph node or whatever.
Well, everything's near lymph
Okay.
nodes. I mean, you have 1,000 of them throughout the body.
Okay.
Those are little catch basins, for catching toxins that are pushed out by the interstitial fluids. The interstitial fluids are the fluids that surround every cell, but the blood and the cells purify themselves by pushing their waste out into the interstitial fluids into the organ. In fact, it's the largest organ in the human body, called the interstitium. And then those fluids are pushed out into the lymphatic system. lymphatic system has lymph nodes. Those are little catch basins to help break down some of that matter. And so you have lymphocytes in the lymphatic system that help to do that. And they do that by releasing oxygen species or reduced oxygen, such as SO minus or HO or OH minus, which is reduced hydrogen and reduced antioxidants to purify or to neutralize the waste that's coming from the interstitial fluid. So you can support the lymphatic system and increase your circulation dramatically. There are certain things that you can do, such as what kind of water are you drinking? Is it functionally structured water? Does it have a pH of at least 9.5 or higher? You can also support the lymphatic system and support the interstitial fluids, because any lesion is the result of cells that have been exposed to excess toxicity, and therefore they have broken down, and the body encapsulates those broken cells if it can't eliminate it. And that's what forms tumor masses or, lesions. So the bottom line is that the focus should be on the environment, not on the lesion anyway.
Okay.
Now I know, it's common for people to do antibiotics, but something that works even better than antibiotics is N-acetylcysteine. And of course, they use in conventional medicine, they use N-acetylcysteine if you have increased amount of alcohol in your bloodstream. So it helps to neutralize that.
Where would you get something like that?
Well, there's a company that sells a N-acetylcysteine in a catalyst of double distilled water, and so you can learn more about that at phmiracleproducts.com. So you don't want something that you're going to use in your body that increases any type of more toxicity. So anything with glycerin in it, anything with alcohol in it would not be helpful to you. So that's what's nice about this N-acetylcysteine, in combination with
How in the world do you spell that?
N-acetylcysteine is spelled N, capital N dash ACETYL dash cysteine is CYSTEIN,
Okay.
I believe, yeah, cysteine. Okay. Anyway, N-acetylcysteine, it's also known as NAC, NAC, but it's a great anti-mycotoxin, or in fact, N-acetylcysteine is a precursor to glutathione. I would use both. They're both in double distilled water, double deionized water or distilled water. So there's no other factors within it. Oh, I see you're drinking your greens.
Well, this is a juice of cucumber, celery, spinach. I like the other day, it was like when I was about my third day in, it was like, oh boy, I don't feel good. But
yeah, but if you've been off it for a while, that's you're detoxing.
Oh yeah, I'm detoxing really big. Because it's really strange, because I've had a cough for years and my cough is gone.
Well, here again, when you increase hydration, you increase the flow of fluids. And so, and the other thing is, greens are, a perfect beverage for not only increasing life force energy in the form of increased electrons, but drinking greens is foundational for building blood, particularly the erythroblasts, which are formed in the crypts of the interstitial, crypts of the small intestine. They're in the crypts of the what are referred to as the appendages that come off the the small intestine wall, and so you have these fibers that come off. Uh, yeah. So the intestinal the intestinal villi, uh, and folding in alkaline green foods helps to build these erythroblasts, which then form into erythrocytes, red blood cells. And your body needs greens in order to do this because it is foundational. That with oil, the omega oils.
Oh, omega oils. Okay.
Yeah, the omega 3, 6, and 9s, combination of hemp, flax, borage oils. These oils, even black seed oil is a very good one. Thymoquinone is a powerful antioxidant in black seed oil that is used for just about everything and anything. So I would suggest that you begin using that as well. More powerful than flaxseed.
Now, do you sell that? The pH, they sell that?
The phmiracleproducts.com does offer the black seed oil
Okay.
at a very good price. So yeah, so you take about 2 or 3 teaspoons a day, or you can take one. You can increase it to 1 tablespoon, but based on your size, I would say at least once a day, if not 2 or 3 teaspoons a day. Throughout the day is also good. But back to the glutathione. Glutathione is how the body cells produces and releases glutathione to protect its membrane. And that's really where the intelligence is. The health of the cell is really affected by its environment. The genetics is triggered by its environment. So no one's predestined to, some sort of genetic profile, due to their duty of the, let's say family strengths or weaknesses. So here again, that's really determined by you, and the health of any organ or gland or any system of the body is really a reflection of how clean your internal environment is. And specifically, the largest body of water, which is the interstitial fluids, which surround the cells of the body. So this is not just a localized condition, but it's a systemic condition, and it's really important that you manage and maintain the alkaline design of all the body fluids. So, N-acetylcysteine and glutathione is best administered either orally or through nebulization. So you mist it and you breathe it into the lungs. And that is the best entry point through the alveoli to be able to move these powerful antioxidants into the interstitium organ or the interstitial fluids of the lung. So nebulization, increased hydration, improved circulation.
I walk a lot. Since I moved here to Arizona, I walk about 4 or 5 miles a day.
Yeah, and that's good because that activates the lymphatic system. Every time you contract your calf muscles, that activates lymphatic flow.
Now, I did find last night that I was getting some my calves were cramping up a little bit.
Yeah, that's localized interstitial acidosis, specifically lactic acid. Lactic acid is a waste product of metabolism, and you're using those muscles to pump your lymphatic system. The lymphatic system has 2 hearts, the right calf and the left calf. And so when you're moving your body, either in a passive way using an elliptical machine or using a full body vibrational machine, or when you're walking, or when you're rebounding. These are ways to contract the calf muscles and expand it to start moving, these fluids from the interstitium organ into the lymphatic system to empty that through through perspiration or through urination. So the best way to know whether you're doing, if you're in an alkaline state or if you're doing yourself good, is to test the perspiration or to test.
I have those strips, but I don't know if they're old, but every time I can do okay with my saliva, but I can't get my urine to get to a pH.
Yeah, that's why you need to be taking a product called Four Salts, PHOU.
Oh, I bought some. I just got it in the mail yesterday.
Yeah, so you take that 1 scoop and 3 or 4 ounces of distilled or alkaline water. You put that into the water, approximately 3 to 4 ounces, and you drink that morning and night, or any time that your pH of your urine is below a 7.4 pH. The ideal pH of the interstitial fluids in the urine is 8.4, just like the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a salty saline solution that the cells love and bathe in. So the Four Salts provides sodium and potassium bicarbonate with magnesium and calcium, but the main ingredients of sodium and potassium in the form of bicarbonate is exactly what the stomach produces, which is the main organ for alkalinity. The stomach produces sodium bicarbonate to alkalize your food and to alkalize the blood, and then the interstitial fluids that surround the cell, thus alkalizing the intracellular fluids, which are the 3 main bodies of fluids: vascular, interstitial, and intracellular fluids.
Yeah, so I was just looking,
So if you need to get those pH strips, you can get them at your local store,
okay,
or you can get them at the phmiracleproducts.com store.
okay. So I need to get white strips then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might be really old and they're just not working right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they're exposed to light generally. Are they tear off strips or are they sticks?
they're the round, in the round.
Yeah, so that's more, that type of pH hydrant paper is more sensitive to light. It still should work. You probably just need to.
Yeah, like I said, if I put it under my tongue, it comes out perfect. But I just.
And what is perfect to you?
It was over the 7, it was in the darker bottom half. They have the little
Yeah,
thing.
you want to have it a dark green or purple color.
Okay, dark, okay.
Yeah. So
But
you
yeah,
want to be more this darker green.
okay,
Yeah. Just like the grass.
okay.
Yeah. So if
So I'm just,
it's not that easy being green. As you experience the last 3 days, you start to drink green, but eventually, as your body detoxifies, you start feeling better energetically. You feel more balanced, and you end up literally craving this type of food for breakfast. I had a green shake for breakfast, which had spinach, cucumber, avocado. You can use a lot of avocado in.
okay, can I do that now since this is day 7 of my cleanse?
Yeah, absolutely. You can use avocado. You can do pureed foods.
Oh, I can. Oh, good, because I'm
Yeah,
like.
you can make a salad, dress it with oils and salt, and then put it in the blender and blend it and drink it.
Okay. Okay, but I can put avocado though with it, right?
You can add avocado into your salads, and blended
So
foods.
do you want me, so I can go back to eating then right now?
Well, eating is like chewing. You're asking me, can you go back to chewing?
Yes.
Well, chewing is a very ineffective way to purify to get the food into a liquid state. You're better off using a blender and
Okay.
letting
I
the
have a
blades,
Vitamix.
yeah, use the Vitamix and blend your food. And yeah, here again, now the food is in a liquefied or pureed form. The body can use that. So it's important to understand that any solid foods that's not liquefied, that since the stomach does not digest food and the small intestines are not designed to digest food, the small intestine is for the purpose of transforming food into embryonic stem cells. So that's the main production area. The food has to be in a liquid state at an alkaline pH of 8.4. So how do you know whether or not you're at a pH of 8.4? You're testing the urine. And anytime the urine is below 8.4, no less than 7.4, you take a scoop of the 4 salts, you put it into 3 to 4 ounces of distilled or alkaline water or functionally structured water, which is even better, and you drink that.
Okay.
Right. And so you may be taking it twice a day minimum, or you may take it 4 to 6 times, a day,
Okay.
just to keep your pH up.
So what would I do to mix with avocado? So I can't do a coconut milk or anything like that yet, right?
Yeah, coconut milk is generally too high in sugar. You have to read
Okay.
the coconut milk, just so you understand, is just the meat blended with the water. So
Now, what about, I have a thing to open up coconuts. Could I do like just the pure coconut water or no? Or
no,
would you
you're
rather?
better off with the meat, the flesh of the coconut, not the water. The water is too
Okay, I
high.
can get that out. I love that part
Yeah, you can use that and then blend that.
with avocado. That'd be
Yeah,
so good.
blend that
Anything sounds,
with
after you
your
juice a
smoothie.
week.
You want to try to stay away from sugar as much as possible.
Okay.
That's the culprit.
Okay, so yeah, they're going to do, so they're going to do whole MRI, but that's like I said, they want to do contrast. And so I called and said, I do not want intravenous contrast because I don't want that stuff in my body because I just clean my whole body out.
Yeah, well, the reason they use the contrast is so that, if there are lesions, that will take up that contrast and it'll show up better, so they can actually see it. Here again, ideally is to do ultrasound, not a MRI, which exposes you to a very toxic field of magnetic energy, which is highly disturbing to the cells. This is
So I would want to
this is
get,
what cells look
uh,
like. This is what cells look like when they're disturbed to electromagnetic fields. Ideally, they should look like this, okay?
mhm.
Round and symmetrical, even in color, even in shape, and even in size. And then when you expose them to electromagnetic fields, they start clustering and breaking apart, clotting together, forming clots, which activates fibrin monomers, which leads to blood clots, which causes circulation problems. Once you improve that, of course, things like coughing then stops. It even creates deterioration to the cell membrane, so you can actually see the appendages here of the cellular breakdown called the corona effect, which is not a viral condition, but a anatomical condition of cellular breakdown caused by decompensated acidosis of the interstitial fluids or the vascular fluids. So these breakdown cells here, you see the appendages coming off that. The crowning effect is the result of cellular breakdown due to the environment, not to some sort of infection. So I refer to that as an outfection, not an infection.
So you don't know MRI, but so do you think this
Well,
doctor's,
again, I'm not telling you no MRI. I'm just telling you the advantages or disadvantages. That's still a decision you would have to make.
well, I don't want to do anything. I completely believe in your whole program. So I wonder if the doctor would do like an ultrasound with that. He said that the ultrasound didn't show anything though. It was inclusive.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, here again, in Europe, you cannot have an ultrasound done by a technician. You have to be a medical doctor, and you have to be a specialist in sonography. So the bottom line is he's not a specialist in ultrasound, and you have to find a specialist, and the best in the world in that is Dr. Galina Magalko at Universal Medical Imaging. You can find her at universalmedicalimaging.com, but she's the only one I know of in the world that does full body ultrasound. And of course, this is all read by a radiologist, so, but her expertise as a medical doctor in doing non-invasive medical diagnostics is the best in the world. She's in Los Angeles.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Well, that's where my kids live, and I'm going over there.
Yeah. So what I would suggest is you contact her.
What's her name again?
Her name is Dr. Galina Magalko. That's Migalko. Galina is Galina. So Dr. Galina Magalko. She's a specialist in non-invasive, non-radioactive medical diagnostics.
Okay. Okay, I'll look her up then.
The reason for doing that is that you'll get a complete picture. Plus, you can have the interstitial fluids checked, so you can have a biochemistry and a pH of the interstitial fluids and compare that to a non-invasive blood test and get all the blood chemistries and blood counts without drawing a drop of blood. It's all done through electrodes and frequencies that run through your body to pick up these numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, they did do a scan, like, and they said my kidneys all came back okay. So,
Well,
or the blood work, they did blood work and said that, but no matter what it ends up being, I'm not going to do chemotherapy or radiation. I mean, that's just, I won't do that.
Well, that's the conventional approach, which is focused on the matter or the lesion, which is systemic, which affects other cells, definitely affects the interstitial fluids, rather than cleaning up the environment, because the cells are only as healthy as the fluids they're surrounded in. Do you remember the fishbowl metaphor?
Yes, if the fish are dirty, change the water. Or the fish are sick, change the water.
Yeah, so the fish are only, so I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here you have the dirty water, and the fish are only as healthy as the water they swim in. So the idea here is, does air pollution or internal fluid pollution, does it affect the cells? Absolutely. It's a major contributing factor from keeping your blood clean and your cells strong and healthy. But that's specifically in relationship to what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're breathing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're believing. So all of your lifestyle are contributing factors from looking like this, which is ideal, to this. And cells have to go into the capillary pools single file to pick up oxygen or to release its carbon dioxide gases. But when they're stuck together like this, you see, it's really difficult for them to move into the lungs to release their toxins and to pick up, that's carbonic acid, and to pick up, or carbon dioxide, and pick up oxygen. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw those cells or not, those
Yes,
pictures.
I did.
Yeah. So I would highly recommend that you contact Dr. Galina Magalko.
Okay.
Her number is 818-987-6886.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can talk to her, and if you need any information about the various tests she offers, she can send that to you.
Yeah. Now I did have a colonic yesterday.
So why did you do that?
Well, because I'm detoxing and I remember the last time, and I've had problems in the past with hives, and I have called your office and they said, Dr. Young said to get the colonic done. And that always works. It takes them away. So I just decided since I was doing a cleanse, I would go ahead and do a colonic. And so I
Well,
don't know.
yeah, just for clarification, what I do recommend is an alkalizing colonic, which means that not just to remove waste, but to infuse into the rectum. It will then be taken up by the hemorrhoidal vein, chlorophyll and salts, you know, and oxygen in the form of the prime pH or the purify. I suggest you put that in all your water, in all of your enemas, or in your infusions or implants or suppositories. You need to put alkalinity into the rectum in order to hyperperfuse alkalinity into the vascular and interstitial fluids.
Okay, now how would I do? Because I don't know if they would.
You have to ask them if they do implants. If they do implants, then just say, great, I'd like you to do a wheatgrass implant or a chlorophyll implant. And here is the eye juice liquid. You could have the liquid chlorophyll or the eye juice powder. You just put one little small micro scoop of powder into the
What
bag.
kind of powder?
It's a powder, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I always suggest adding that to your shakes or to your
Okay, what was it? It was,
it's called eye juice chlorophyll. It's a
oh,
concentration of mulberry leaf chlorophyll. It's pure, and you don't use very much. You only use like 250 to 300 milligrams, or 1/4 of a gram, uh, and that's enough to
okay.
suffice
That's,
putting a very powerful hemoglobin builder into your body, which it's also a purification, helps to purify. Uh, and back to the UTIs,
yes.
urinary tract infections. Those are outfections. That's a reflection of how acidic your interstitial fluids are. So here again, the N-acetylcysteine and glutathione, which you can nebulize, or you can actually infuse those rectally, or you can take them under the tongue. This can be very helpful to support the
What
stomach.
was it? Which one was it? It was glutathione and what else?
Yeah, it's glutathione and N-acetylcysteine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Under tongue. Okay.
yeah. The thioquinone is in the black seed oil. That's another powerful alkalizer of cells. But interstitial cystitis or UTIs is a result of of the acidity within the interstitial fluids of the bladder. And if it's kidney, then it's interstitial fluids of the kidney. So here again, it's a reflection of not maintaining the alkaline design of the interstitial fluids, ideally at an 8.4, which you can test yourself very inexpensively by testing the urine pH. And then to correct it, once again, you take 1 scoop of 4 salts in 3 to 4 ounces of distilled water or purified alkaline water, and you drink that every time that your pH is below that mark that you're trying to achieve.
Okay. I know. I guess it's my mind. It's wanders sometimes because I think, oh, but that's why I decided I'm going to start the cleanse. So I started on Saturday and I've done nothing but green juices, green drink. And then I bought the pH salts and stuff.
A lot of people don't realize that they have more brain cells in their bowels than they do in their head. And the bowel, of course, no pun intended, this is just a gut reaction. But you ever heard that saying? Well, my gut tells me, my core tells me. Core health is not just a trite saying. It's actually, people make decisions from their core. And if the core is constipated, this is why Washington has so many problems. If they're constipated and toxic, you cannot think properly. You cannot make proper decision making. But when you're alkalized and that environment is pristine and it's at that 8.4, this is when your brain, which is in the head, so you have a brain in the core or the gut, and the secondary brain, which is, this is called the bowel blood brain connection. It's very key, like in MS or dementia, depression, even the fact that you have vertigo is the admittance that you're urinating through your skin. And the reason it's coming from its extremities, because the body pushes out acidic waste to the hands and the feet. That's why you have diabetic neuropathy. That's why you have cold hands or cold feet. This is why you have coming out these poisonous acids that are destroying the melon cells. And so if you want to stop that, you have to hyperperfuse alkalinity rectally, orally, and even through respiration, through nebulization. And then to help your circulation, there's a combination of 3 aminos, L-citrulline, L-ornithine, and L-carnitine, but all of these aminos in combination with some antioxidants, vitamin, and also like resveratrol or pycnogenol with K1 and D3, with an anti-inflammatory magnesium chloride, all synergistic formulated together. You take that 4 times a day. The product is called L-arginine Max. But you could be taking the salts and things aren't moving. So you use the L-arginine for circulation and percolation and elimination. And so then while you're on your pH Miracle whole body cleanse, you're hydrating with alkaline fluids at a pH at least 9.5 at a negative 450 millivolts. And so you're ionizing your body fluids and you're flushing things out, but you got to keep things moving. Getting blood like this that you see, which is less than 0.1% of the human population, most people have blood that looks like what? It looks like this. And this blood is not circulating. And if it's not circulating, you're not percolating. And if you're not percolating, you feel tired and fatigued. But it starts with the blood, with the bowel blood brain connection, because there's a bundle of cells in the brain stem called the nucleus totalis solitaris astrocytes. It's a bundle of cells that control the biochemistry, the homeostasis of your body. And that becomes suppressed from head bang injuries, neck injuries, from sleeping with, with your head forward rather than back to allow the flow of energy to flow. There's a great book called Treat Your Own Neck. It's by Robin McKenzie. I highly recommend that you read that book. I mean, you need to read the PH
Okay.
Miracle
My
Revival.
son will like that. My son's a chiropractor.
Yeah, so Robin McKenzie's a physical therapist from Australia, but he's written Treat Your Own Back and Treat Your Own Neck. But where there's no flow of energy and there's stress to the neck, I mean, even wearing a mask, where you reabsorb your own waste
I
product.
don't wear a mask.
Yeah, I did for Halloween.
Yeah, I don't, we're here in Arizona. They like you wear masks, but I don't really, nobody's ever says anything to me. I just,
Yeah, well, there's lots of good research, including my own, that show that the nanoparticulates, which you're trying to prevent from breathing into the body, such as like titanium dioxide or hydrogen arsenic or uh, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide. I mean, black carbon. I mean, do you know what you want to see? Black carbon in the blood? Here, I'll show it to you. Whoops, 1 second. This is what black carbon looks like in the blood. You see that?
yes, I see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So black carbon, is definitely a disturbing factor in the blood. And you're breathing that in if you live in big cities. I mean, I don't know why. It's probably next to medical error. It's probably the next major cause of death in the world. I mean, we generally associate number one with heart disease and also with cancer, but those are symptoms. They're not diseases. This is the stuff that creates congestion and poor circulation and coagulation that leads to heart and stroke and all the cancerous conditions. So air pollution, acid rain, they call it, is something you have to be aware of. I understand if someone wears a mask, trying to protect themselves from droplets, but here again, uh, cleanliness is next to godliness, and we're talking about internal cleanliness. So any factors from the outside world can only contribute to states of imbalance, but it can't cause any specific disease. And what you're doing right now with the chlorophyll, which is a detoxer of a lot of these particulates.
I have chlorophyll.
Yeah, what kind of chlorophyll do you have?
I bought the one from you that's liquid, that's mint.
Yeah, okay, well, that's fine because that has no glycerin in it. That's just pure liquid chlorophyll.
Yeah, I've been putting it in my drinks.
Okay, well, aren't you a smarty pants, So
You should see, I have a whole cabinet. I have all your.
whoops, I just lost you. Did you mute yourself again? I can't hear you. Are you there? There you go. Yeah, so I was going to say these nanoparticulates will go right through the mask. It doesn't, even the NP95s. If you look at the NP95 under a microscope, you can see it has gaping holes in it. Its whole fabric. It can't prevent nanoparticulates from coming in. So if we're talking about titanium dioxide, it'll pass right through a mask.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So,
we're an anti-vaccine family. My son has children. They have not been vaccinated or anything. So that's why I knew that when they told me that I had this, I was shocked. And then it was like a wake-up call to get myself back on track again. So I right away started cranking in the juicing. This is day 7, but
So how are you feeling?
I've gone through really bad different stages. I've been waking up with horrible night sweats, and then one day I felt so energetic that I scrubbed all my baseboards in the house. And then yesterday I got my colonic done, and today I woke up thinking, I'm feeling better. But
Yeah.
I've lost 13 pounds. That's what I was worried about. I'm losing a lot of weight.
Well, that's a whole sea of pollution that you just removed.
Yeah.
And removing the pollution is the solution to the problems. It's environmental. You know, cancer is a symptom. MS is a symptom that affects the nervous system. MS or cancer is an acidic condition of the interstitial fluids that affect your cells. So urinary tract infections, not infections. It's not something that's coming from the inside. It's the pollution within the solutions that are affecting the kidneys and the bladder that causes these things, such as nephritis or cystitis, all the itises, which are inflammatory conditions. And you can't have a symptom without acid. It's impossible. So for every symptom you have, there's an increase of acidity, but it's not localized. It just affects the weakest parts of the body. It's flowing through your entire body, even further those weaker parts of the body. Of course, the kidneys are affected because they're dealing with that level of acidity. But the kidneys, guess what they love? They love salt. They love sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate. They thrive, your body cells thrive on alkalinity. They thrive on alkaline salts. Understand? Are you with me, Joyce? So there you are.
Oh, I lost some of it because we got disconnected, but
That's all right.
the
I
kidneys
said
also-
what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
So
so what specific questions do you have?
I wouldn't want to, because everyone's like, oh, just have your ovaries taken out or whatever, but I am not, I've never had a surgery in my life. So you would not recommend something like that?
Well, I'm making suggestions to you.
I know. I'm not one. I understand. My son.
Yeah, what I'm doing is, it's your body, your life, and your choice. I would never suggest or circumvent any medical advice that you were following. What I would suggest is that surgeons do surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do. I mean, and so they do what they know how to do. But they don't know what they don't know. And I'm not saying the surgery is not an option. I'm just saying it's at the bottom of the list of options.
Yeah.
Why would you do surgery if the chances of this being resolved through an environmental approach, then of course, you don't have to do any cellular thinning by, taking out a mass, which is nothing more than the body trying to heal itself.
Yeah. So you really think that, like, I mean, it could be that it's nothing, that it's just a lesion or a cyst, but.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know that unless you have a competent doctor who has spent, 30 years evaluating these things. All I know is that we see a lot of false positives and false negatives.
So, is there anybody that in Phoenix that I could have my live blood, or when I'm over there in LA visiting my kids, that I could find in that area that could?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I would call Dr. Magalko and talk to her and allow her to give you a recommendation.
Okay.
On
Because
that.
I would really like to have that done. That's how I first found out that I was
Are you
having
coming
problems.
over for Thanksgiving? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm coming over for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
then,
then,
you have her phone number. You can give her a call.
yeah, and then I will be there. My daughter-in-law is expecting a baby on Christmas Eve, so I will be back like December, and I'm gonna stay all of January and help her. So if I needed to come over there, or are
You're
you
just a
down?
great mother and
I didn't know if
grandmother.
you still see people or, yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
My daughter-in-law said, I'm gonna make you a complete vegan Thanksgiving, but really, I don't know if I should be eating it. I don't know when to
well, here again, it depends
do.
on, it really depends. Yeah. It depends on, what they're serving. If they're serving steamed vegetables
Yeah,
and olive oil, I mean, you have to look at it. Here again, uh, if you want to get back into chewing and that makes you feel good, you just have to remember that it's an inefficient way to liquefy or pureed food. Don't expect the stomach or the other body parts to break it down for you, because all of those body parts have been misinterpreted by current medical savants, suggesting that the stomach digests food. It does not. Okay, suggesting that you need to take enzymes or probiotics. You just do more destruction and damage to an environment that's very sensitive, particularly the appendages that come off the wall of the intestine, which are called the intestinal villi.
okay, so you don't like probiotics then? No probiotics?
Uh, Here again, you know, they're highly toxic to the body. This does not provide an alkaline environment for biological transformation of food. This is a scientific illusion.
So I was, another bad thing I was doing is I was making collagen drinks. Like,
Yeah, and collagen doesn't build bone. It doesn't build the strength of the bone. If you want to build collagen, you have to build blood. Blood is the foundational stem cell for producing other types of cells, healthy cells. So it's very important that you understand that muscle cells, bone cells, all the connective tissues, glands, organs are made from blood. Is it being made out of this kind of blood that I'm showing you here? Or is it being made from other types of blood that are like this, like corona blood, or what are called in hematology schistocytes or acanthocytes, or corrugated berry-shaped cells. So here again, you want to make healthy blood, and to make healthy blood, you need to provide the foundational elements for doing that, and I call that the COWS program. The COWS program is chlorophyll, oil, water, and salt. And so chlorophyll, oil, or oxygen, water, and salt, sunshine, the COWS program. What do cows love? They love grass, they have their salt lick, and they drink water. So they're building their bones and their muscles, and if they're dairy cows, they're making milk from chlorophyll, oil, water, and salt.
okay.
Those are the 4 food groups. Anything outside of that is just for entertainment. You're doing a human experiment. I just lost you again. Yeah. You there again?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Did you want to help me like set up so I have like a program? Because last time you fixed me up with a program and I followed it.
What I will do is I will send you by email
Okay.
my suggestions, okay?
Okay. Is
And
there
I'll
any
also,
chance that this will go away?
it'll stop, it'll slow down.
Okay, that'd be great, because I
yeah,
don't want to get it on my
yeah,
face.
you can't be urinating through your skin. You know, it's just not a good idea. And so because it causes damage to the skin.
Mhm.
So, you know, you have to also be careful with the lotions and potions that you put on your skin. That
I
they're
put coconut oil.
coconut oil is fine,
Okay.
but change the internal environment, and you'll change the skin, because the skin is made from what?
It's one of your organs, right?
It's made from blood.
What? Okay.
Yeah, so the quality of the blood determines the quality of the cell. And any uh, type of blemish, you know, whether it's you know, a pimple or a rash or discolorization on the skin, those are waste coming out through the pores of the skin. And you have like 3,750 pores per square inch. So those, it's the largest elimination organ of the body. So it's very important that after you do an infrared sauna, which I do recommend.
I had infrared sauna in my other house, but when we moved down here, we didn't have room, but I think they have one up at the club, so I'll have to do that.
Yeah, so infrared sauna, anytime you sweat, you want to take an alkalizing shower. So that's where I recommend the power shower, to take out the impurities in the water, and to, through a force of flow, it breaks up the water clustering, because it is going from a larger flow to being pressed into a smaller opening that forces the blood to, forces not the blood, but the water to break up. So it's important to understand that the blood or water has to go in single file. And if cells are going to be hydrated, if your skin is going to be hydrated, you want to break up that, what is called molecular clustering. And molecular clustering can be broken up when you force water from a large flow into a smaller opening, based upon anywhere from 40 to 60 psi, which is generally found in all your uh, pressurized household, you know, water systems. So your PSA on your water is
So where do I get a power shower?
same place, yeah, at phmiracleproducts.com.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I almost feel like sometimes, why am I even bothering getting an MRI and all that stuff done? Because no matter what the results are, I'm going to do the same thing. I mean, I'm going to.
well, that's a decision that you need to make with your family and your doctor, if that's
My
what,
kids are behind me 100%,
yeah,
100%.
okay. Well,
And they work really hard. They are all you know, they all eat vegan and they juice. Like I said, the kids have not been vaccinated. They try really hard to, you know, so.
yeah, well,
My other family in Indiana, no, my mom has dementia and they believe in whatever the doctors say, go for.
that's if they can remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so,
if they have dementia, maybe they forgot that they should be eating those foods which are good for them,
yeah.
more alkalizing. So what I'll do is I'll send you a list of foods that you can eat freely, and foods that you need to eliminate.
Okay, I have your book. I have the weight loss and I have your cancer, reverse cancer, and I have your sick and tired.
You have this one here, right?
Yep, I do.
All right, that's good. And you have the this is the chlorophyll.
Oh, okay. I might have that. I have a lot of eye juices. I
Yeah.
have a lot.
And then you have this book here.
Yes. Well, I have the one that's, let's see. I have this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm sick and tired. How about this one?
Well, I have that on my Kindle or whatever.
Yeah, so you can order the book if you want it.
I
Pete,
would probably like that better.
yeah, you should get this one too, the pH Miracle. So lots of great recipes in there, lots of good information that can help you.
But
Uh,
those are all like once I get, I don't know when I will start like the recipes. That's what I mean. I don't know how long to
well,
keep
there's soup
juicing.
recipes, there's juice recipes, there's smoothie recipes, there's salads, which can be you can use in the preparation to puree those using the Vitamix. So that's good.
Oh, okay. I know, but how long does a person do that?
As long as they want to live,
Okay.
because here again, going back to the body cannot make stem cells in the crypts of the small intestine with fibrous food, with food that hasn't been pureed or liquefied. It's waste. So the more that you stay on a liquefied pureed diet, the healthier you'll become, and it'll extend the quality as well as the quantity of your life.
Okay. It's just hard because you think about if you go out to dinner with people, what do you end up eating?
If you go out, well, yeah, here again, it's a personal choice. If I go out to dinner with people, it depends on what restaurant you go to, but I always look at, the salad section, the soup section, and then also not the entrees, but the sides, because a lot of the sides are things that are actually really, really good.
I know, because like in this book here, you have a program that says week 1 through the first week, do green juice. And then then you can start bringing foods in
Well, you can bring foods on. Depends on your outcome, but generally, the pH Miracle Cleanse runs for about 12 weeks.
okay. Okay. Now, should I have more colonics done or?
There, I recommend daily colonics for 2 weeks, and then for the next 2 weeks, every other day, and then after those 2 weeks, then moving to maybe twice or twice a week, and then for the last 2 weeks, once well
I
once
mean, to go to the colonic place and do this?
yeah, the colon hydrotherapy
Oh,
place, yeah. So colonics every day for the first 2 weeks.
wait, let me see this again, write this out, because you know what, it is pretty expensive. But,
Yeah, well, so is surgery.
yeah, okay, so colonic is how many times
Yeah, for
daily?
the first 2 weeks, every day,
Okay,
every day of the week. So 14 colonics in a row. After that, it's every other day. After that, it's twice a week. After that, it's once a week.
okay,
And then you can go from once a week to once every 2 weeks. And then after that, once a month to where, you're 100%. Or you
okay.
can do implants at home using an enema bag. So you can, or you can do suppositories where you take coconut oil in a liquid state and you add to that the salts and the chlorophyll and the drops, because you put 10 drops of the Purify and 10 drops of the Prime pH in the solution that's then uh, placed into the enema bag. Those enema bags hold about 1 liter.
Okay, could you give me the recipe for like how much of each thing to put in that one?
Yeah, in a 1 liter, you would add 1 quarter of a gram of the iJuice chlorophyll. You would add 10 drops of the Purify, 10 drops of the Prime pH, 2 to 3.
Isn't the Purify and the pH drops the same?
No, prime pH is different. It's that's reduced oxygen. Prime pH is a they're two different
Oh,
compounds.
okay.
Yeah, is potassium hydroxide with potassium bicarbonate, where prime pH is a 5% solution of sodium chloride.
So how many drops of chlorophyll?
It's not drops. That is a powder. It's just
Oh,
that you put into the water. It's 1/4 of a gram. It's a little tiny scoop. You'll see it uh, in the jar, and then you add 2 or 3 scoops of 4 salts and a couple.
2 scoops of salts.
Yeah, the 4 salts,
Okay.
and then two or 3 scoops of the Interlight Super Greens.
Oh, I have that. Um, Now how much coconut oil?
Uh, you don't put any coconut
Oh,
oils
okay.
in the enema bag or in that you take orally. If you're
Oh,
doing
okay.
suppositories, then you would make a batch of in the liquid coconut oil. You would then add in each liter of coconut oil, you would then add the same ingredients and mix those up and then put them in an ice tray and freeze those in your in your freezer section, of which then you would take one of those out, and because at a temperature, body temperature, the oils will begin to melt. So you just insert that rectally.
Okay. What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's the
That was,
same ingredients,
uh-huh.
but what you're putting it in is not water. You're putting it in coconut oil,
Okay.
and the coconut oil has these ingredients added. They're mixed, and then they're put into an ice tray to make cubes that you can then insert as a suppository.
Okay. Okay. This is a lot of stuff. So
Yeah, but look at this guy. He did it.
I know I want to be healthy. I
I mean,
want to be around for the grandkids.
he went from dud to stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that in 12 weeks.
Wow.
But that incorporates a exercise program.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you can find in this book here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. So I feel inspired that I'm going to do this. And
Well, Phil perspired. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the night sweats is the body urinating through the skin.
oh, okay.
Okay, so you need to urinate through the urinary tract system. I mean, and you perspirate when you exercise, but when the body can't get rid of waste, it pushes it out through the skin.
Okay. So you
So
really should be sweating at night.
no, you're not supposed to be sweating at night. You're supposed to be sleeping and then waking up and urinating out through the urinary tract system. Okay, so keep drinking your greens, because when you're green, you're serene, you're lean, and you're never mean.
Okay.
You got
Okay.
it?
Yeah. I have so much written down. It's like I have to process it all.
Well, I'll send you this link and then you can watch it again.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Then so I can watch it with my kids.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So then they can help me.
Sure. Let's see if I have a better picture to close with. I mean, um, I like this one. Unless you have seen our place up in Taisana in Italy.
No.
Yeah, it's closed right now.
Now, do you still have retreats at your place in California?
We don't, no, but we do have retreats centers that we hope to be able to invite people to in Costa Rica, in Colombia, in Panama, in Italy, and in Spain. Once we see the direction of the politics in the United States. Hopefully, there'll be more freedom of choice for people to be able to take sovereignty over their own bodies, to choose the type of ways to be able to heal their body, whether it be conventionally or alternatively, or using a pH miracle approach. That should be your
Yeah.
choice. Should be since it's your body, your life, and your choice, and that's the way it should
My
be.
choice. Yeah,
Rather than being
I
dictated to
agree,
what.
100%.
Yeah, I'm fine with people want to do surgery or
No,
do chemotherapy. It's not what I would do for myself, but
no.
this is. Uh, but the freedom of being able to choose should still exist, which is definitely being threatened. Our freedoms are being threatened. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks, few months, few years, and hopefully people will start opening their mouths and expressing, that they want that freedom to be able to choose for themselves rather
Yeah.
than being dictated
No,
by.
I don't want anybody telling me that I have to have a vaccine. No.
Well, I agree with that, and that's your choice. But if you want to be vaccinated, that's your choice. I mean, there are
Yeah.
scientific reasons not to vaccinate, and they're not pseudo reasons. They're scientifically based reasons, and but that should be your choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Joyce, it's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking with you soon,
Okay. Thank you.
and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Yeah, I will do this again when I continue on with my greens.
That's right. All the best. Take care.
Yes.
Have a
Okay. Thank
beautiful
you.
day.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye-bye.